Outside, the snow was falling, but inside the Humber Hawks nest, the heat is heating up as we get way for some volleyball action between the Humber Hawks and the visiting Mohawk Mountaineers. You see their players lining up on the line, so we're gonna actually do a quick step away for our PA announcer, Dwayne Bowles, for the introduction and the national anthem. Like I said, welcome into the Hawks Nest. Zach Benoit, Mr. Matt Hamill here on the call for the Humber Hawks, taking on the Mohawk Mountaineers in some volleyball action. Matt, how are you doing?
Doing good, Zach, and doing better now that we're just moments away from tip-off. We have not just this women's game here before us, but 8 o'clock scheduled start time for the men's matchup of Mohawk and Humber. Let's turn it over now for the celebration of the head coach, Chris Wilkins' 400 wins with the program.
Please join Humber Athletic Director Ray Chateau and Associate Athletic Director Michael Kopanak to receive a framed print of this incredible accomplishment. Please join us in congratulating Chris. Thank you.
Incredible stuff, Zach.
400 wins.
It's now time for the starting lineups. First for the visiting Mohawk Mountaineers. A 5'11" outside hitter in Hamilton, number 4, Sophia Spoljar. A 5'8" center at Kitchener, Ontario, number 9, Yvonne Mann. A 6-foot middle at Hamilton, Ontario, number 11, Rachel Penderwold. A 5'11" outside hitter at Burlington, Ontario, number 14, Alexi Zakari. A 5'11" right side out of Columbia, number 17, Irene Jaramillo. And a 5'11" middle out of Hamilton, Ontario, number 19, Ashley Gibbons. The starting libero out of Coquitlam, BC, number 3, Annika Gatto. The head coach for the Mohawk Mountaineers is Kelsey Kovar. And now, the starting lineup for your Humber Hawks, as put together by head coach Chris Wilkins. A 5'11" middle out of Scarborough, Ontario. Number 4, Kiyomi Ellis. A 5'10" center out of Grafton, Ontario. Number 9, Sydney Ferguson. A 5'11" right side out of Toronto, Ontario. Number 10, Hannah Manners. A 5'8" left side out of Uxbridge, Ontario. Number 13, Erica Duh. A 5'10" outside hitter out of Vancouver, BC. Number 14, Leah Serlin. And a 5'11" middle out of Guelph, Ontario. Number 15, Cass Andrews. Your starting libero out of Ajax, Ontario. Number 2, Alex LaChapelle.
Let's get it on, partner.
Oh, for sure. You saw it, the electric player introduction. Again, shout out to our PA announcer, Dwayne Bowles. You see it right there, the starting 6 for your Humber Hawks. Alex LaChapelle at libero. Kiyomi Ellis, Sydney Ferguson, Hannah Manners, Erica Dodd, Leah Serlin, and Cass Andrews. The usual starting 6 we see out of the Hawks. Matt, it's going to be a good one.
Well, how about that ceremony for head coach Chris Wilkins? 400 wins with the program, could pick up 401 here tonight. And 21 years with the Humber Hawks, and just an outstanding reign of accomplishment. I mean, from the year 2007 all the way to 2017, Humber won the provincial gold every year. Now, right now, the Hawks, you know, you'd think Chris Wilkins, he's been doing it a long time. Maybe there's some decline in performance. We're the number 2 team in the country, so things are as good as ever for the Humber Hawks, and we're going to get this show on the road here with a Mohawk serve.
And it's Ivana Mann for the serve over good. First ball to Ferguson. Ellis off the block, and that's already 1 point. Hawks.
Yeah, Kiyomi Ellis, one of the dangerous offensive weapons for Humber. The Hawks, Zach, are one of the most efficient offenses in the province. In fact, they're the most efficient. They have the top hitting percentage in Ontario. Kiyomi Ellis, a big part of that. For
sure, indeed. Right there, Ellis getting involved. Going to Dodd on the outside. Somehow kept alive there by Mohawk. They're just going to get it over. Free ball here for the Hawks.
Yeah, good job, Annika Gatto, for the Mountaineers, keeping that in play.
What a heads-up play by Ferguson, going to the net and just tipping it over. Kind of went backwards there, Matt.
The element of deception. Something I like to use in my broadcasting. No. Fabulous work there up front for the Hawks. 2-0.
Hard serve. Back to the net. Cass Andrews is going to try to put it over. Mohawk get a hit out of it. Not going to go. Ferguson setting up Dodd once again. Down the line, Erica Dodd. You want to talk about one of the most efficient Hawks. Look at none other than number 13, Erica Dodd. Leads the team in kills. Now at 99, sitting 1 away from 100.
No doubt see her at the century mark, finding the back line for the ace.
Kiyomi Ellis, do it all yourself right now. Known for the prowess at the net, but at the service line right now, she's doing great things, Matt.
Great shoes as well. Lots of color in those athletic trainers, wouldn't you say, Zach?
For sure. The shoe game is always good here with the Hawks. Going back out. Hit it over. Saved. Kept up. That's Leah Serlin. Dodd again. Not going to get it. A hard hit out of that one. Off the net. Back to the Mohawk Mountaineers. Back set. Good rally we got going back and forth. The back set again. No. Mohawk going out to the hitters. The left-handed hit. Kept up still. Just pushed to the back line. Serlin to Ferguson. Ferguson to Andrews. Off the hands And it's a point for the Humber Hawks.
Yeah, 5 straight to start the game. That's a backbreaker for Mohawk. I mean, they really did a good job on that rally with lots of offensive opportunities, but the Hawks were just there every time. Another point for Humber, but they surrender it with the service error.
Into the net, but like you said, the rally back and forth already happening. Saw that a lot last week against Fanshawe, who put up a good fight against the Hawks, but Humber continued to roll, taking that one 3-0. And a crazy statistic here, Matt. Last time the Hawks dropped a set was November 22nd to the Redeemer Royals. They've gone 30 straight sets, winning them all.
Yeah, which is remarkable, and it speaks to why Humber is the #1 ranked team in the province, #2 in the country, second only to Vancouver Island University, #1 in the nation. They're also hosting the national championship this year, so Humber will hope to punch a ticket to Vancouver Island in March for the Nationals.
They've looked good so far in the season. Garamilo hits that one over. Chappelle sets up. Serlin doesn't hit the line. Nice hit by Serlin in the backcourt.
You know, Zach, Vancouver Island, not a bad place to be in March. Summer and nice warm weather arrives pretty early in BC. I don't know if you've heard about
are we
that.
booking our plane tickets out there?
Let's go. We're gonna
go to Vancouver Island.
Big fans of the Humber Hawks women's team. We're going coast to coast.
Good serve up, kept alive. Just gonna be hit over. First ball to Ferguson, good. Quick one to Cass Andrews. Put the point on the board. Cass Andrews gets the kill.
So you talked about it's been since November 22nd, the last time Humber lost a set. They've only lost 4 sets all year, which is remarkable considering that they've won 36, so not a bad ratio. 36 set wins, only 4 losses, and remarkable stuff.
For sure, ball coming over our way. And a service ace, Sydney Ferguson. Timeout called by the Mohawk Mountaineers, and out of the gate, the Hawks are looking poised.
Yeah, you said it. Just really a different facets of Humber's game just look really strong right now. And Mohawk is obviously getting settled into the game. You got your work cut out for you when you're playing the #1 team in the province, but really things have gone the Hawks' way. 10 points so far in this game, 9 of those belonging to the Hawks.
For sure, and you want to talk about a little familiar face here, Matt? The head coach for the Mohawk Mountaineers, Kelsey Kovar, competed for the Hawks from 2014 to 2016, winning 2 OCAA golds and a CCAA bronze medal. So she's played under Coach Chris Wilkins, maybe trying to one-up her former coach.
And you certainly could tell that she has the Humber Hawks roots. A lot of love for Coach Kovar pre-game, and a couple Humber athletics officials coming over and dapping her up, as it were. But yeah, I mean, she was part of that run where Humber was winning provincial gold essentially in perpetuity. So maybe a bit of an insight there into how Coach Chris does his thing. So maybe that could be a strategic advantage for Mohawk. But right now, Humber just too strong, up 9-1 out of this timeout.
Another good serve by Ferguson, this time sailing too far out, so strategical timeout called on the side of the Mountaineers. And another mind-boggling stat, if you want to talk about the dominance that is Humber Hawks women's volleyball, they're on a 20-match win streak versus the OCAA. Going out to Manners, Hannah Manners, getting her first taste in this one. It's scary when you see Kiyomi Ellis, Erica Dodd, Ara Talan, who's not even in the starting 6 right now, and Hannah Manners all sitting in the top 5 in swing percentage.
Now, unbelievable stuff in the Hawks. Rolling all season and rolling so far in this game, but a good play up front by the Mountaineers.
Rachel Vanderwall getting that one off the wall, getting the point for the Mountaineers. As Irene Garamilo goes to serve. Hard serve, Dodd try to keep it alive. She does, Manners. And it's almost like a 1-2 punch. Dodd doesn't need to hit it, but Manners finishes it off.
Yeah, Manners put a lot on that ball and just a little too hot to handle for Irene Jaramillo.
Serve over, kept up. Tip to the backside, Dodd gives a good ball to Ferguson. She's gonna go back to Manners, tipped over the wall. Gatto coming out of nowhere to save that. And again, treated to another rally. Manners to the back, not gonna hit that line. Mohawk gets another point as they try to get back into this one. Down 11-4.
Zach, this Mohawk team is very streaky. They started off the season fantastic. They won 5 in a row, then proceeded to lose their next 6 games. They've since won 2 in a row, and maybe they have a streak, can kind of lean on that streaky energy here tonight. But so far, a strong start to the Hawks. But credit to Mohawk out of this timeout. 11-5 our score now. Bit of a bounce back.
It looked like Humber was just going to run away with this first set as that one goes in the net. That was Sophia Spooljar, the serve. But like you said, this Mohawk Mountaineers team, you look at the season record here, obviously that hot start and then dropping, was it 6 in a row, 5 in a row? That's kind of a backbreaker for the team, but the fact that they've been able to rebound those 2 back-to-back wins is huge, and it's a big test coming against the Hawks right now, who are 12-0.
Tiana Stephenson and Stephanie Armstrong coming into the game.
First ball up, it's good. The set over the wall, and the kill going to Rachel Vanderwall.
Yeah, Erica Dodd was in position for the Hawks, but it was just a bit out of reach. Good point up front from the Mountaineers.
Serve to the back, off the fingertips of LaChapelle. Service ace going the way of Vanderwall. And you look at the backcourt right there for the Hawks. Alex LaChapelle, 6 digs away from 4th all-time in Humber Hawks women's volleyball history. Kiyomi Ellis trying to get it over, but a nice dig. Wall kept up, kept alive, but goes out of bounds. Irene Yaramilo.
Vanderwall now serving for Mohawk. Zach, it's a good thing we had this game today. Yesterday was a debilitating snowstorm. Humber facilities were closed down, so just in the nick of time as Kristanisic puts a lot of heat on that one.
It'll be Leah Serling going back to serve. But yeah, you said it. It was a crazy, crazy snowstorm yesterday. Having to drive home in that after work was not fun, I'll tell you that.
One of those days where if you're at home looking out the window, you're just like, oh, I'm so happy I don't have to leave.
Exactly. Another point for the Mountaineers, who have been surging. This time coming off the arm of Lexi Zakari.
Yeah, quite a run. An 8-4 run after that timeout as the Hawks were up 9-1. Much closer now.
First ball. Armstrong out to Dodd, off the hands, and no Mountaineer able to get there. Erica Dodd getting the kill.
Oh, Zach, the Hawks were last in action a week ago today. They beat Fanshawe in 3 straight sets. What'd you like out of what you saw in that matchup?
It wasn't really one person getting the points, but another service ace at a Kiyomi Ellis. But like I was saying, wasn't one player contributing really. It was just everybody, even players off the bench, were filling in, doing what they needed to do. And Humber, really gritted down to beat that Fanshawe team. And they're looking to try to continue that role today. Ellis, nice ball. Dodd blocked off the wall, but players hitting the net for the side of Mohawk. So Humber will continue to grow this lead. And it was Kiyomi Ellis the first time getting this rally going. She's doing it again.
Yeah, good look for the Hawks now, back up by 7. Let's see if they can keep the mojo going here. Close out set number 1.
Hard serve and another service ace at a number 4. Timeout called once again. Safe to say, Hawks, they're feeling themselves right now.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, we certainly saw a well-timed timeout earlier in this set. Really kind of ice up Humber a little bit. Now we'll see if the Hawks can maybe just come out of this timeout and keep the energy up. They're not that far away from closing out this set. Just 8 more points needed. Mohawk still in single digits with 9 points so far. Now, we talked quite a bit about head coach Chris Wilkins, who's, of course, looking for his 401st win with the program. Looking to go 13-0 on the season. Now, for the Mohawk Mountaineers, they're head coached by Kelsey Kovar, who you said is, you highlighted that she's former Humber Hawks player herself. Assistant coaches for the Mohawk Mountaineers, Amanda Kuiper, Ben Tonin, and Nicholas Petrella.
Good list indeed. You kind of want to, if you want to look at glance at the OCAA standings, obviously on the East Division, or excuse me, the West Division, Humber sitting in first place 12-0, but you got to look out as well in the East. It's the Durham Lords who are also 12-0. So, you know, come playoff time for that OCAA gold medal, it could be a good matchup between the two teams.
Oh yeah, partner. Humber ranked number 2 in the country, like we mentioned. Durham, number 9 in the nation. So 2 Ontario teams in the top 10. Humber on the fortunate side of that list, being in number 2.
Those are the big standings, the CCAA. As again, out of the timeout, Mohawk gets another point. So back-to-back so far here in the first set. Armstrong going up to Andrews. Cass Andrews gets the...
Annika Gatto in position there for the Mountaineers, but once again, the hitting power for Humber just lethal. And you also talked about it's the efficiency for Humber as well. The Hawks, speaking to that efficiency, they have a hitting percentage of .347, leading the province.
That's impressive on its own. Here we go. Sydney Ferguson checks in, and she'll go to serve. Kept up. Just going to be a free ball. Manners to Ferguson. Ferguson out to Dodd. Kept over. LaChapelle covering in. Dodd once again tipped over. Diving body on the side of Mohawk. Not going to be in time. As Humber once again will rack up the points. Sits 6 away from taking set number 1.
Yeah, no timeouts left by Mohawk to slow the play down. So the Hawks on a roll right now, trying to close this out.
Another good serve by Ferguson. Just go right back over the net. Andrews tries to just take a swing at it. Hit to the back, but too far once again. Sophia Spoljar couldn't get that one to land on that back line. Humber trying to close this one out quickly. Serve up. And into the net. That one goes off of the arm of Sydney Ferguson. Ashley Gibbons will be the one to serve here. Excuse me, it'll be Megan Sweet checking in for Gibbons, and she'll be the one to serve.
Megan Sweet, second year in OCAA volleyball by way of Metcalfe, Ontario.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that city before.
I know a gentleman named Scott Metcalfe who works for...
Manners, oh man, what a kill.
Metcalfe is actually in the Ottawa area, so not a bad place to be. I don't know if you ever spent some time in our nation's capital or the surrounding Ottawa Valley, but...
Okay. A little quick geography.
Pretty good place, according... Yeah.
Reese Cholette checking to serve. Ball up. Trying to hit down, cross the net. She does again. Rachel Vanderwall. For the side of Mohawk, she's been the one making noise, trying to get this rally back, close this lead. Hawks up 21-12. Garamilo would be the one serving. Serve up, serve good. First ball off LaChapelle to Ferguson is good. Manners hits to the back, but it gets blocked. Push to the backcourt. Cholette there. Going to the net. Just swung over a little bit too close. Serlin hits it over. And that will do it for that one as the Hawks get the point up 22-12.
Serlin, one of those players who is sort of on the back end of the season. She's made her debut and already in just a few games is right up there in terms of offensive producers for Humber. As if Humber needed the help offensively. A lot of weapons to work with and even more lethal now.
Quick one to Vanderwall, not going to be able to go. Ferguson going to set up in the back for Cholette. First ball good again, going out wide, but the wall comes through. Hannah Manners and Kiyomi Ellis.
What a combo.
Those two sit top 5 in swing percentage, but they can also block it with the best. First ball good, quick one to Vanderwall. Diving Cass Andrews gets it up for Ferguson. She's gonna go to Manners. And off the wall, Hannah Manners is able to get it.
Just to circle back to that great block by Kiyomi Ellis and Hannah Manners. Humber is 3rd in Ontario for blocking. So again, you kind of add up different facets of Humber's game, the hitting efficiency and the offensive prowess, with being one of the top teams with blocking up front. It's kind of no wonder you can kind of piece together why the Hawks are undefeated on the season.
Yeah, for sure. Humber 1 point away on set point. Up to Ferguson. She's going to Ellis, off the net this time. So Mohawk staying alive for now. Trying to close this one up. It's a 10-point deficit. They gotta basically play perfect volleyball from here on out if they want a chance in set number 1. Serve up. Off the fingertips of Serlin. And out of bounds. So Ken Mohawk trying to make this miracle run.
Yeah, very low margin of error for Mohawk here. See if the Hawks can put it away.
Ferguson to Kiyomi Ellis. And not many times we can talk about Kiyomi Ellis getting blocked, but Rachel Vanderwall coming up big for the side of the Mountaineers.
And win or lose for Mohawk in this set, great energy, great momentum here. The bench is getting into it. This could serve them well going forward, even if they do drop this set.
Manners, the heavy hit. Put up, hit from the back to the corner, no. LaChapelle's gonna set up Manners, blocked, lands inbound, and what are we witnessing right here, Matt?
Well, the Hawks are gonna have to put this away as soon as possible because it still is a tall mountain to climb. The Mountaineers need to have 8 unanswered, possibly even more.
Serve up and good. First ball to Ferguson. She's going out to Manners, who just tips it over. Gatto there to cover. Quick one to Vanderwall, blocked, but Vanderwall gets her own rebound. Going out wide, into the back, diving, LaChapelle. Quick one to Ellis, tipped over, no one there. And that'll do it for set number 1. The Hawks take it 25-17. A little bit of flair to end that one, but Humber holding on strong.
Yeah, we talked about the last two teams. The last time that these two teams met, Zach, it was a straight sets victory for Humber. But I'll tell you what, even though Mohawk once again losing that opening set, a lot of great energy for this visiting team. I mean, they were getting into it. Their men's team sitting behind them, which you can kind of see on camera there. They were getting hyped, and really maybe something for Mohawk to build on heading into set number 2. Let's take a second look, Zach, at some of those highlights from set number 1.
Pretty impressive set number 1, if you ask me, partner. Gotta give a little shout out there to Sophia Spooljar. Went on a run with the serves. I believe, like you said, it was 8 in a row maybe. I'm not 100% sure about that math, but still really impressive. I mean, 8 straight serves, you know, not hitting the net, not serving it out of bounds, brought her team back to a little bit more of a reasonable deficit. But really, it was impressive to see on her end. Right there, you see Humber takes it 25-17, and a good start for head coach Chris Wilkins.
No doubt, partner. He's talking to the team right now. There's a look at Mohawk's bench as they strategize, and yeah, certainly a lot to build on there. Some positive momentum, fighting back late in the set. But I'll tell you what, for the Hawks, the season of just excellent play continues as they have now won 37 sets, only dropping 4. Sounds a lot like my record in NHL online. Yeah, it's in that sort of territory.
31 straight set wins for the Hawks. Is that your NHL team? 30 straight wins, 31 straight wins?
That's right. So set number 2 moments away. And Zach, it looks like on the schedule, we have the men's games teed up for 8 o'clock. However, more likely 30 minutes after the finish of this game will the men's game take place. So it might be starting a bit early if you're kind of setting your alarm on the Hawks Sports Network for the men's game here.
If you're a Hawks fan, you want to believe that for sure. You know, the way they played in that first set, just really utter dominance. But for the side of Mohawk, you want to kind of look at it and be like, you know, we kind of came alive towards the end of that set, carry that over into this one. maybe try to contest the Hawks a little bit, turn this match into a closer one.
Certainly, if Humber plays the way they did in that first set, they were a bit hot and cold, right? Started off the set phenomenally, and then phenomenally, let's stick with it. Now, you also had that timeout really cool the Hawks off, and then really at the end of this set there, once again, Mohawk really was in the driver's seat for the last few points there. So can Humber kind of strengthen the effort to be more consistent? That might kind of snuff out any fire that the Mountaineers are building on their side right now, but we'll wait and see. Maybe they can keep the positive mojo going, this visiting team, and give Humber, the undefeated team, #1 in the province, a run for their money.
Yeah, it was almost as if, you know, the Hawks, they got that big lead and they kind of took the foot off the gas pedal a little bit, and then Mohawk jumped all over. So obviously we want to kind of see the Hawks play that competitive style of volleyball the whole way through. We know how good of a team they are. They've been proving it all year long, and they'll look to continue to do it here in set #2.
You know, last time these two teams met back in November, Mohawk was in the midst of a nasty losing skid. Now they're coming into this game on a 2-game win streak. Does that kind of put a little bit more wind in the sails for Mohawk trying to dethrone the Hawks?
I think there's always a little bit of that extra, you know, the extra motivation when you come into the Hawks Nest playing a hot Humber Hawks team. Blocked, and coming up big, Cass Andrews and Ara Talan. And there's some notable entries here to start off the second set. Stephanie Armstrong starting on the court at setter. Megan Hunt on the court as well. Ara Talan. And then I believe the last one is Tiana Stevenson. Armstrong, serve up, serve good. First ball on the side of Mohawk, good. Blocked once again. It's Cass Andrews coming up big, back to back.
Yeah, it was Ashley Gibbons for Mohawk with the hit. Looked like a good shot, lots of power, but once again, that's elite blocking game of the Hawks on display.
Armstrong over the net, nice serve. Going to the back. Point to the Hawks. Attack line violation on the side of Mohawk. I believe that was Spooljar just coming up too far. Take another look at it here on the replay. And the Hawks got that point. Tried to keep it alive, not going to be able to again. And this is the Hawks we saw at the start of the first set. Let's see if they can continue it throughout the entirety.
Yeah, good point, partner. It was a hot start. They went, I think the first 5 points of set #1 went their way, and trying to recapture that glory here with the serve from Armstrong.
First ball good to man. Milo gets blocked again. And Cass Andrews, have yourself a start. Another look at the replay. Cass Andrews, I think she has 3 or 4 blocks already in this set. Short serve. Man, gonna go back again. Spooljar. Hawks keep it up. Ara Talan, big hit. Kept alive by Gatto, but not enough. Again, the Hawks are rolling.
Yeah, and give credit to Land for that big blast. Mohawk tried to recover, but ultimately the point would go Humber's way. Trying to make it 7-0 now. Here's Armstrong.
Another great serve over the net. Back set, off the wall. Armstrong tried to keep it up, unable to get it. Just hits that top lip of the net. So just like that, Mohawk get their first point, but not before Humber goes on a 6-point run to start off this second set.
Yeah, a bit of a misplay there by Armstrong at the net. That ends her service run, but I guess in volleyball, if anybody's going to end your service run, you want it to be yourself, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's always painful when you're feeling red hot from that service line, and it gets put to a premature end.
And that was Lexi Zakari with the service ace for the side of Mohawk, so maybe this is the spark that they need to try to start coming back into this one. Serve up, kept alive. Nice job there by LaChapelle. Stevenson tipped over. And the ball did land in bounds, but there was also, I believe, a net line goal line violation again. So getting a little bit too close to the net on the side of Mohawk.
Zach, I know you're a baseball guy. How's your volleyball serve? What are you working with from the service line there?
Definitely not a jump serve, that's for sure, as Mohawk gets that one. I did learn in high school how to knuckle it, though. That was the peak of my volleyball days. So the way you hit it, you don't like snap your hand, you just kind of stop your hand.
Don't tell me, tell our women's team. I mean,
they
got it covered.
Yeah, they got it covered. They know how to hit the ball. Megan Hunt right there with the power. Setting up, tip over the wall, and maybe that's what the Mohawk needs to start doing. We've seen Cass Andrews already block 4. This time it was Spooljar just kind of tipping it over top of the hands. Down 3 are the Mountaineers. Good first ball by LaChapelle. Quick one to Cass Andrews, and the wall for Mohawk coming up big this time. It was Garmilo.
And Gibbons back there to serve.
Going on a little bit of a run of these Mountaineers. Out wide, Megan Hunt, first ball to Armstrong. Tiana Stevenson trying to block it, but off the wall, landing in bounds. And you can see the side of the Mohawk Mountaineers. The bench is getting into it.
Yeah, there's that flame rekindled. And again, Humber starting off the set so strong. The Mountaineers battling back, and now the energy is really quite even here.
Armstrong going out wide to Megan Hunt, but again the block comes through Vanderwall and Yaramilo.
Unbelievable stuff. It's just runs in either direction. Now we're tied up at 7, but
I don't know if you noticed, partner, but Mohawk, they got a foam finger on the sidelines on the bench. Into the net is that one off Gibbons. But the run there brings us back even, but Hawks take it on that point, take the lead, excuse me.
I got a foam finger right here under the broadcast table. Sometimes I like to get into the action. I'm a fan/broadcaster.
First ball to man, good. Going to Vanderwall, and again, finding it. Deadlocked at 8, Rachel Vanderwall.
You know, whatever perceived mismatch there is between these two teams, you talk about the national ranked Humber Hawks, but really Mohawk is coming in here. Lots of energy, and boy, this is going to be tough for the Hawks if it continues like this.
And just miscommunication on the side of Mohawk right there. But like you said, you got to remember, this was a team that started off 7-0. Mohawk was up there, and you kind of see, so there's a bit of miscommunication between the libero, and I believe that was Sakari in the backcourt. Couldn't really figure out who was going to go for it. Stevenson, nice serve over top, can't be kept alive. Emma Beck was the one trying to hit that, keep that one up.
Tiana Stevenson, 4th year OCAA volleyball player. By way of Scarborough. Good serve.
Armstrong, quick one to Kostanisic, who checks into the game. Wall coming through this time, it's Armstrong. Hitting it in the back, but sailing it wide. And I don't know how me or you didn't notice that. Alex Kostanisic checked in, but she's in the game now.
One of those veterans for the Humber Hawks. She's certainly seen lots of success, not just individually, but for the program. Of course, Humber capturing the OCAA gold last year. Kostanisic, big part of that team.
Kept up and alive again by Vanderwall. It's going to be a free ball. Armstrong going out wide to Hunt. Megan Hunt finds it.
That was nasty. She got up high, and that was an undeniable shot right there, and a big part of why Humber is able to be so efficient with their offense. That was just an undeniable shot from Hunt on that left side.
You see it. Wall comes up, but it gets kept alive. And then Megan Hunt gets the huge kill at the end. Hit down, Stevenson up to Armstrong in the backcourt for Talan. Out of bounds, very, very close.
I like that shot. That might have gone a bit too long, but that thing was hit with a lot of mustard, Zach. So I think a couple Mohawk players might be thinking twice about getting in the way of one of Ara Talan's hits later tonight.
Kostanisic goes up for the quick set, but gets blocked. And Mohawk not going away. down by 2. They were tied at 8 apiece at one point. Humber was able to go on that little bit of a run, but you look at the block coming up big. It was a quick set to Krstanisic that gets blocked.
Yeah, this is quite a barn burner here. I mean, Mohawk is coming into this gymnasium red hot. Lots of energy tonight, and 3-point lead for the Hawks.
Megan Hunt, and there, a little bit of knuckle on that one, but just sails over that back line.
You know, I don't have the jump serve like you see some of these phenomenal volleyball players in front of us here, but I'll tell you what, Jake Gomes for the men's team for Humber, just an unbelievably talented server, someone who's really fun to watch. That'll be a big highlight for us to tune into with that next game later tonight. For
sure, probably both of our favorite, mine and yours favorite player to watch at the serve line. I was gonna say though, you know, Megan Hunt probably has an AirPod and listening to the broadcast saying, all right, I'm gonna knuckle it this time, just because Matt and Zach both said they wanted to see it.
This one's for Zach.
Aratalan, big hit. And Sakari unable to keep it up. So again, Humber growing the lead. Up 2 once again as Alex Krstanisic will go to serve. Hit over, hit good. Man, going to Sakari. Off the wall and then just drops behind them. So that's another point for Mohawk, and it's another close match.
That ball was just kind of in no man's land. Stephenson looked like she was thinking about going for it for Humber. Taylan was in the area as well. But another point for Mohawk, down by just 1 right now.
First ball good, almost out of the reach of Cass Andrews, but she makes it work and then goes up for the hit and gets it to go. Cass Andrews, do it all yourself. I will say one thing about this Hawks team. They all got some good kick games. I'm kind of looking at the shoes. I'm kind of jealous.
Good shoe selection. I'd have to agree with you, partner. Taylan's got some nice turquoise jams on.
Tip down the net, kept alive by Mohawk. Gonna be a free ball. Going out wide to Aratalan, who tips it over the wall. Kept up again by Mohawk. And what are they gonna say? They're gonna say it dropped. No.
It's a ball handling violation, but can we give Chelsea Vanderwall the props and her flowers for that incredible pancake?
That was
Can we get a second look here, Zach?
Goes up, hits it. Tipped on the line. It was just non-stop good action in that rally. And then coming out of that replay, we have Mohawk getting the point. So they're down by 2. But like you said, you know, you talked about the nice turquoise shoes that Taylan has. Look on the bench, you know.
Stands out to you.
Kiyomi Ellis has some nice kicks.
A lot of color on, yeah, we talked about those earlier in the game.
I'm kind of jealous. I need to know where they get their shoes from. Or that it might just be, you know, Humber getting the shoes, you know.
Well, speaking of shoes in Humber, our men's basketball coaches coordinate the outfits right down to the sneakers.
I do,
which I do.
It's been a while.
Appreciate.
It's been a while since I called the basketball game, but I do remember that. It's the, if I'm remembering, the blue Humber jacket, beige pants, and the white Air Forces, if I'm right.
That's it.
There it is. Nice hit there by Stevenson. Spooljar trying to get it to go, and it will be Mohawk point, but kind of see on the bench here. I think what Humber's trying to say is that didn't hit the arms, it hit off the net. But either way, Mohawk is going to get the point. They're going to be only trailing by 1. A lot closer of a set than we saw there in set number 1.
But a similar
quick one
dynamic.
to Cass Andrews. Out of bounds. Wow, matter of inches.
Yeah, certainly a different dynamic here in terms of how close this is pretty much all the way through this set after a hot start by Humber. But really, much like set number 1, Mohawk just bringing all the energy, confidence, got to be sky high as they give up a point there on the service error.
Unable to take the lead was Mohawk as that one goes out of bounds. Heavy serve, you see smart heads-up play by LaChapelle to let that one go. Cass Andrews with the serve. Man, going to Vanderwall. Somehow saved by Andrews. Taylan just gonna throw it to the back. Man, going back to Garmilo. Hard hit, kept up. Tiana Stevenson now with a big hit.
Great hit.
Not gonna fall. Man, going to Vanderwall, and Andrews keeps it up. This time out to Hunt, she tips it over. What a play by the Hawks to get that rally going, keep it alive, and get the point. Now up 19-17.
Just a huge point there. Let's see if we can get a second look at outstanding play up front by Megan Hunt. Now that was a big rally, Zach, and certainly one that the Hawks are probably pretty thankful they won, because we're getting into crunch time here in set number 2, and it kind of felt like, hey, depending on what side or what direction that rally went, that could have been a game changer. Hawks picking it up. They're now up by a single Mohawk serve.
It was another tip over the block by the side of Mohawk, and it just drops on the line. To land, first ball, good. Stevenson trying to get it over, but the wall comes through. And a little miscue. That's not something we typically see. But if Stephanie Armstrong just kind of hit the hand weird, and we'll be tied up 19
Something
apiece.
we saw a lot of in my volleyball career, but not typically what we get from Stephanie Armstrong.
Hard serve by Garamilo. Quick one to Kristanisic. Does it fall out of bounds? No, it doesn't. It'll be Humber ball. We can't really see where it lands because we have our scores table in front of us, but head ref saying that it's Humber's ball, that it did land on the line.
Chris Wilkins kind of right in front of us here, head coach for Humber. Sounded like he had the inside scoop. He was saying all the way, our ball, our ball.
Shout out Coach Wilkins. Helping out the broadcast team, that's for sure. Stevenson, nice serve. Joust at the net, somehow kept up. She's gonna be pushed over, free ball here for the Mountaineers. Quick one to Vanderwall, tipped over, nice diving play by Hunt. Cholette, she's gonna hit it over. Tipped over, no one there, and a trick play out of Yvonne Mann.
Yeah, that was right in the middle. I mean, credit to Mann for putting that right in the sweet spot. Almost every Humber Hawk seemed like they were converging on that loose ball, but nobody could get there.
20-20, Sophia Spooljar. Kind of stakes a little bit higher here because, you know, like we said, Hawks 31 straight set wins. You know, you wonder, maybe is that in the back of the player's mind? You know, keep playing this perfect brand of volleyball. Going out wide. Zakari kept up. Cholette going to Hunt. Hunt just hits it over.
Wow.
Great power. Gatto hits it. This time to Zakari. To land. Gonna set up Megan Hunt on the outside. Blocked. Kept up and alive. Quick one to Vanderwall off the hands of Tiana Stevenson and out. And I believe that is the first lead of the set that the Mountaineers have had, and it's in crunch time, up 21-20.
Big stuff, Zach. Now another serve for Mohawk coming up.
Sailing it wide is Spooljar and tied up 21 apiece. Ferguson and Manners will be checking in.
A little bit of confusion on some substitutions here, Zach, as we cut away from replay back to real time. Just figuring some stuff out, and we're almost ready to go. But Zach, this is coming right down to the wire. Set number 2 has just been neck and neck after a hot start by Humber. But boy, Mohawk trending in the right direction here, and excited to see how the last few points shake out here. Can Mohawk steal one?
Good serve by Hunt. Man, gonna set him up and off the block. It's Lexi Zakari getting that one.
And former Humber Hawks women's player Kelsey Kovar, now head coach of the Mohawk Mountaineers, is pretty fired up. That was a big point to give Mohawk the lead here.
Rachel Vanderwall is the one to serve. Serve over, but right back over the net. So Mohawk gets a play out of this one. Zakari off the hands and out of bounds. Mohawk is rolling in the later halves, and a heads-up timeout called by head coach Chris Wilkins. That's something, you know, we don't typically see from the Hawks. somehow this energy out of the Mountaineers, they've been riding it and riding it high as they're 2 points away from capturing a set and equaling this one set apiece. And partner, I'm looking at your eyes right now, trying to figure out what the song is here.
What is the DJ playing right now? It's kind of, is it like trying to slow Mohawk down? It's almost like some meditation music.
I feel like it's a WWE entrance theme because that's what we've become
we
so
don't have enough
accustomed
time to. Okay, now it's kicking in.
Here we go. Here we go. The tension's building, just like in the match. The tension's building. Oh, it's the Last of Us theme. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if it is or not.
Well, at any rate, hopefully it kind of helps Humber come out of this timeout again, much like we saw with Mohawk in set number 1. Humber was in the driver's seat and there was no margin for error. Now the tables have turned. Humber trailing by 2. We are very close to the definitive points here in set number 2. No room for error for the Hawks.
Serves up, serve good. Nice first ball over to Ferguson by Cholet. Setting up Talan, and the power out of Ara Talan.
Talan, who's in her first year with OCAA volleyball, first year with the Hawks, and that was an unbelievably powerful hit. Couldn't have come at a better time.
Serve over and good. Sent up in the backcourt. Splujar hits it. Kristonisic trying to set up Manners at the net. Kept alive. Nice play by diving Gatto. Again, Splujar from the back. Hunt out to Ferguson. Ferguson to Talan off the hands and kept alive. Yvonne Mann now trying to get it. Kept up. Cass Andrews sets up Talan. Gatto going out to Zakari. Diving Ferguson. She saves it, but it goes over the net. Man, out to Zakari again, the block and out of bounds. Wow, what a rally and a little bit of a backbreaker for the Hawks as Mohawk goes up 24-22 on set point.
Talan has been the hot hand for Humber. She had a couple big blasts on that rally, but look, it's Mohawk, the exultation after a huge point. They're 1 away from taking set number 2.
Serve up, it's good. Good first ball. Going out to Talan again. And it kept up, but not alive. And the Humber Hawks will drop set number 2 to the Mohawk Mountaineers. And Matt, that ends the 31 straight sets won by the Hawks. I feel like we kind of jinxed it a little bit.
Maybe we're guilty of putting the kibosh on the Hawks. I think I might have, I was talking about, hey, the early start time for the men's game, so I think we could take partial responsibility. But in reality, it really is, you got to give full credit to Mohawk. They've come in with just a tremendous enthusiasm, and there's just been some big turning points in this game, big rallies, and Mohawk, just their bench is getting into it. They're really riding high. They've got a foam finger on the sideline. How could I forget? But really, for the Hawks, it's just been a bit hot and cold, right? We've seen them dominate at times, but then just sort of relinquish that control. So really, it'll be interesting to see how these teams adapt. Does Humber get a more consistent effort here? Because at times they've been in the driver's seat. They've both sets so far. They've started out with big leads, Zach, but they're just giving it away. Mohawk also handing around some sharp cheddar Cheez-Its on the bench. Another key factor in today's game.
I want to go get it. Is it a cheese strings?
No, it's kind of like a cheese cracker, but Cheez-Its.
Oh, yeah.
It's a non-perishable.
Lots of cheeses, yeah.
But they have a sharp cheddar flavor. It's phenomenal.
Smart choice there by number 14, Lexi Zakari. Not a Cheez-It. She's eating an apple. Got to keep health.
She's clearly a leader on this team, nutritionally speaking.
Nutrition is the key to success.
Well, Zach, we have both teams in their huddles right now, and Chris Wilkins, you'd imagine he's really preaching that message of, hey, we need to be, from start to finish, the kind of team we know we are. But really, one of those things that's kind of diffused Humber's play is the blocking efforts of Mohawk. And when we take a look on the season, Mohawk, in terms of their blocking, they're right up there, Zach. They're really in the top 5 provincial teams here, top 5 teams in Ontario with blocking statistics. So today, even more so, that's really been effective, shutting down some of those great hitters for Humber up front. But with that being said, we've seen Humber with some great plays up front. Megan Hunt has really been utilizing a lot of those soft touches, and that's really worked for a couple of plays for Humber, is kind of the element of surprise, those soft touches. We'll see if that becomes a bigger part of the Humber game plan in set number 3 as they try to bounce back.
Yeah, you said it best in that breakdown that the Hawks have really, you know, they started off each set very, very hot. Both times I think it was nearly a 6 or 7 point run that they went on. And then Mohawk just kind of coming out of nowhere, holding on strong, keeping alive. They showed the prowess in that second set, being able to take it. Now, this right here, this is a big swing set in my mind, because you look at it, does Mohawk ride that high wave, or does Humber, you know, come out and just shut things down like we know they can? Erica Dodd back in the starting side. Leah Serlin back on the court. So two big names back on the starting 6 for the Hawks. Maybe that makes a big impact for them.
Mohawk will start the set with the serve. It's going to be Yvonne Mann, a 5th-year player, an experienced OCAA volleyballer.
Yeah, Yvonne Mann, she's had a great job setting up her hitters so far in these first 2 sets. Very kind of going underrated. Guillaume Ellis, though, coming up big there. Nice hit. And we're just set underway, and it was just miscommunication on the side of Mohawk.
Now, we've seen Mohawk in both of the previous sets start flat, give up big unanswered leads, big runs to Humber right off the get-go. Not a great start for Mohawk there, as a miscommunication gives an easy first point to the home team.
Yvonne keeps it up. Garamilo, big hit on her back leg. Was able to get that over the net off the block of Humber and out of bounds. So maybe the fire in Mohawk trying to, you know, spark something else here to continue this run they've been on. LaChapelle, nice first ball to Armstrong, and then Cass Andrews hammering it home.
Hammer, the operative word there. That was, okay, one of those undeniable shots we've seen a couple of from Humber up front.
Stephanie Armstrong up to serve. Sailing it, though, too far past that back line.
So we're kind of just going tit for tat here in set number 3, which is already an improvement, right, for Humber not to start a set on a big run. Yeah, step in the right direction for this visiting team as they look to capture another set.
First ball to Armstrong, good. She's going to go out to Manners. And they will say it was off the arms of the wall for Mohawk and out of bounds. So Humber will get the point, and they'll bring up Erica Dodd to serve. Good serve by Dodd. Just gets over the net. Garamilo, hard hit. Wow. Unreturnable for the side of Humber. Good serve over LaChapelle, just too far. It sails over the net. Yvonne tips it over, diving body. LaChapelle setting up Manners now. And hit out. Hannah Manners gets that kill.
This game is a close one, Zach. It didn't really feel like it was going to be that way for most of set number 1, but boy, this is a tight matchup Thursday night at the Hawks Nest. It's great to have you with us watching here on the Hawks Sports Network.
Wow. Kept in between the posts on the far side. Kiyomi Ellis went up for the heavy hit, and Rachel Vanderwall just said, no, no, no. The block comes through.
And again, just to see the energy from this Mohawk team, I'm like a broken record. I keep touching on it, but it's remarkable and not quite getting that same intensity from the Hawks at times.
Serve over, out of bounds. Mohawk not going away here. Really, ever since that midway point of that second set, they have not gone away. Haven't let Humber get a big lead like they did in the first set. Another look at that serve going too far.
Yeah.
Vanderwall, serve up. Dodd receives it. Going out to Serlin. Right back over the net, but out of bounds. Serlin, a heavy hit.
And you'd like to see Humber kind of clean up the service game a bit. They've been sailing a few long here in set number 3. Via Serlin with the chance.
Serve up, serve good to the backcourt of Mohawk. Quick set, no, not going to be able to work too far. So Humber will roll here again, up 2, trying to really separate themselves now.
Shout out to our camera operator on the baseline there, getting a good shot of Serlin, but had to move quick. That ball was heading right for him.
Had to duck out of the way. Heavy serve again from Serlin. Good first ball to Yvonne Mann, and again, going to the old reliable Lexi Zakari. Another look at it on replay. Zakari off of the arms again. I believe it was Kiyomi Ellis. Was able to get that point for her side.
7-6 for the Hawks here. Almost a misplayed ball.
Set up for Dodd. Swinging the arms with Zakari, but unable to keep it inside the court. Erica Dodd, so much power when she goes in.
That ball deflected, and I counted, Zach. Made it up to the 7th row. A lot of power on these shots from Humber up front.
Yvonne going up to Zakari. No, not gonna land in bounds. Too hard hit. 3-point lead for the Hawks. I've learned one thing about Mohawk. Lexi Zakari. It's easy to remember her last name because it sounds like my first name.
Oh, Zach, yeah.
Does it land in bounds? It does. Wow, what a kill. That was Irene Garamilo. We've seen the reach of Humber's programs, bringing in players from, Vancouver, BC, sometimes out of Alberta and all that. How about Mohawk bringing in a player all the way from Colombia?
That's right, Irene Jaramillo, who has played tremendously. So a good pickup for the Hawks. Seen that with our Humber men's team. A couple Brazilian players have come into the mix over the years. Really one of the great things of these college environments is just the tremendous cultural diversity we get to enjoy.
Hannah Manners coming through with the block. Like you said, Irene Jaramillo out of Colombia, and you look on the Humber Hawks men's team, I believe you have one player that's out of Jamaica. It's Stefan Manning. So pretty cool to see that, these college programs have that reach that they do. Setting up Spooljar, and she gets that hit to land in bounds.
Hawks with a 3-point lead here, Zach. Let's take a second look at that last point. There's at least the tail end of it, the celebration.
Megan Sweet coming in. She'll be the one to serve. LaChapelle sets up Armstrong nicely. Manners this time. It lands in bounds. Close one right there. You see head coach Chris Wilkins saying out of bounds, but the line judge saying in. Serve just a bit low.
Oh, Megan Sweet kind of cracking a smile after that miss hit. And there's Coach Wilkins on the other side, and Humber now, his team with the serve. Still up by 3.
Erica Dodd gets the service ace.
Erica Dodd, key player for Humber. We knew that heading into the season, and she's really worn that mantle well throughout the first 12 games.
Somehow kept alive by Mohawk. Manners gets her hit blocked. Armstrong trying to set up Serlin, but it's just going to be a free ball. Quick one to Vanderwall, and wow. It looked like it was going to be back-to-back service aces for Erica Dodd. Somehow Mohawk is able to keep the ball up and push it over the net. And then Vanderwall is able to get that kill. What a play out of Mohawk, keeping this one close still. I mean, only a 3-point lead.
Humber had a chance in that point, rally there, a free ball essentially, and the best they could manage was just lobbing it over. So a missed opportunity for Humber leads to a point for Mohawk.
LaChapelle sets up Manners. She just hits it over the wall. Yvonne sets up a hitter, and that one's a heavy one. Serlin now trying to find it, and just missed. Yvonne, man, diving across the court to try to keep that one up, but so much power off that hit from Leah Serlin.
Now a 4-point lead for Humber. Just out of reach of the Mountaineers.
Going out wide, setting up Spooljar. Cass Andrews keeps it up. Hannah Manners now hammers it down.
That one only made it to the 5th row, Zach, but still a powerful blast. Mohawk doing their best to corral.
Made it to the 5th row, but decided to take a little seat to watch the game.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Free popcorn here at the Hawks Nest. Great place to come check out some collegiate athletics.
Kind of see the popcorn machine over there with all the papers on the wall, and that's because of Bell Let's Talk Day, obviously, raising awareness for mental health.
What's something you do for your mental health, Zach? So kind of keep it managed, keep it in check.
Sometimes you gotta listen to some lo-fi music in your room, just lay down, close your eyes.
Kind of a meditative approach.
Exactly.
I like that, but trying to get into the meditation more as well. Focus on my breathing, connecting with my body, and really so much of my mental welfare connected to how I'm doing physically. How's my diet? How's my sleep?
Exactly. Right there, another point to the side of Mohawk as it's a 2-point game, but obviously with it being Bell Let's Talk Day back I believe 2 days ago now on the 25th, or it was yesterday. I always get my days mixed up. But on January 25th, it being Bell Let's Talk Day, being okay with not being okay was the big thing, with mental health.
Yeah, and the continued kind of pressure of the situation to advance our mental health resources and how we approach the condition. Yep. Let's keep up the focus.
Right there, off the wall, was a heavy hit by Lexi Zakari. And the wall blocked it, but it lands out of bounds, so Mohawk down 1 point. Spooljar, nice serve to the back. Dodd keeps it up. Armstrong setting up Manners. Mohawk's able to keep it, but it'll be a free ball for the side of the Hawks. Armstrong going to Manners again, tipped over. Gatto sets up Zakari, blocked. Joust at the net, won by Mohawk. And we're all tied up 15 apiece. No, excuse me. It won't be Mohawk's ball, it'll be Humber's. I believe it was Yvonne Mann touching the net on that joust.
Now, when it comes to the violations and those whistles that the refs have blown, it's really been a lot charged to Mohawk. Humber's played a much cleaner game. That's been to their advantage. But Mohawk is perhaps be in an even better position here, if not for some of those violations.
A big kill out of 14 in orange, Alexi Zakari. Yvonne Mann cross court in that setup. Rachel Vanderwall, second-year player at Hamilton, Ontario. That's where my mother resides, so shout out to Hamilton. And it'll be... Timeout was almost called, and almost a violation. Big hit by Ellis, just out of bounds, and you can kind of see two sides of the gym. Humber kind of a little deflated, and the Mohawk Mountaineers are just getting the energy up.
Yeah, I mean, that is a striking difference between these two teams, is just the kind of intensity Mohawk is bringing to the table. We see flashes of it from Humber, but Mohawk gets on these runs and they just get like 11 out of 10 excited, and that's really fueling the energy. Even their head coach was really prying their team to keep up the energy after that last point. And boy, Mohawk just trailing by 1 right now.
I kind of get a sense that Humber's playing a little flat-footed, and that's not something we typically see, especially out of this women's team who's been nearly perfect all season long. They get the point there. They're still ahead by 1, so good sights if you're a Humber fan. The setup big. Blocked on that one. Going back to Zakari. She hits it off the block. diving Hannah Manners is unable to get to it, and we're all tied up once again. Oh, excuse me. I believe it's another net violation? No,
there's some deliberation going on. Now you have the team captain being the carrier pigeon of the communication between Coach Wilkins and the ref.
We are still tied, so we are tied up. It wasn't Humber's ball, it will still be Mohawk's ball. A little bit of communication, like you said, between captain on the court. First ball, Armstrong, she's gonna go wide to Erica Dodd. Block comes through, but goes out of bounds, and maybe that's what you need on the side of Hawks. Big hit out of Dodd to kind of wake up the energy a little bit.
Yeah, that certainly was what's needed. We're getting into crunch time now. The score 18-7. Can Humber get on a run here? Not lose another one. Again, Humber has only lost 5 sets all season, so really quite remarkable that they lost one here today.
Armstrong going to Dodd again. Fallen out of bounds off the block, and that's what you need out of your superstar. Erica Dodd, 2 back-to-back heavy hitters that just go sailing off of the block and out of bounds. Ellis with another good serve. Yvonne trying to set up a hitter, but a nice backup there by Gatto. Dodd trying to get the kill. No, falling too far. No, but another net violation.
Now that, we talked about that being a difference maker. Huge net violation there. Humber now up by 3. They've hit that 20-point mark in a timeout called by Mohawk. Zach, these violations are troubling for the Mountaineers.
And it's kind of a blessing in disguise, you know, for the side of the Hawks. Mountaineers have been playing a really good volleyball, but, you know, these net violations that are constantly happening, it's just free points that you're giving to Humber. And they're kind of taking that, and they're going to be running with it, it looks like.
And in a game this close, those violations very realistically could be the difference between a win tonight for Mohawk, a upset, surprising win for Mohawk, a one that could really put the wind in the sails for the rest of the season. If they come in here tonight, they could say, hey, we could just beat the #2 team in the country. But now you have all these violations, that one coming at a pivotal time. It puts the Mountaineers in just a bit of a hole.
Yeah, it's tough, but they've been very good coming out of these timeouts, so we'll see how things shape up to end off this second set, where it's poised to be a good finale here for this set. Humber, like you said, have hit that 20-point threshold. They're up by 3. Kiyomi, and who else but Kiyomi Ellis at the serve line? Again, I believe it's the 3rd or 4th time that she's been there where they've gone on these runs. So you gotta look at that as a key contributor, see if she can continue it for her side. Serve up. Does it sail? It does.
It's
wow.
Close, though.
Just missing that back line.
We talked about some of the violations for Mohawk really being a detriment to them. For Humber this set, it's been those service errors, and particularly hitting them long. Another example there. Out of the timeout, Humber has been a little flat. And Zach, you mentioned it just a moment ago. Mohawk has been great out of the timeouts. We're seeing that play out again right here, 2 unanswered.
Yeah, and a little miscommunication. That's, again, another rare thing we see out of this team. We don't normally see it. Zakari now up to serve. LaChapelle gets a good first ball. Cass Andrews tries to hit it. Kept alive again by Mohawk. Jaramillo hits it over. Armstrong out to Dodd, and Erica Dodd puts it down the line.
Ara Taylan just checked in for Humber. She's been outstanding so far tonight. Maybe #1 for the Hawks can get it done with some huge hits. Armstrong with the serve.
Good first ball to Yvonne. Tipped over, and a heads-up play by Irene Jaramillo. And it's the pesky Mountaineers that just won't go away. Over the net somehow, wow. A little bit of a break there for the Hawks. into the net. You said it, the service errors have been the backbreaker for the Hawks. And again, right there, a big one.
Yeah, you don't expect to see that from Dodd. Sorry, partner.
Yeah, no. You said it best. You know, normally, some things we haven't seen out of this Humber Hawks team all year kind of just starting to spout up in this game against the Mountaineers. Yvonne setting up Vanderwall, kept alive by Gatto. Now Jaramillo will just hit it to the back, so it'll be a free ball. LaChapelle sets up Manners. Big hit, but the block comes through. Armstrong somehow saves it. And Ara to land. Wow. Out of nowhere.
Yeah, that is phenomenal work. She just checked into the game, and that was a strong hit. We've seen a lot of that from that young lady here tonight. Ara Talan by way of the Philippines. First year with the Humber Hawks. Big hit there late in the set.
And obviously Ara Talan gets that big hit, but you gotta also give some props to the setter, Stephanie Armstrong, for keeping the play alive. Armstrong again sets up Ellis this time. Vanderwall, the soft touch. It's kept up. What a play by Reese Cholette. And no, Ara Talan hits it too far out. The defense on both sides has been exceptional. We saw earlier Reese Cholette wearing the libero uniform, this time back in the white with her squad, but both the liberos on both teams, you look at Gatto, you look at LaChapelle, and then Cholette when they filled in, huge. And right there, that's a huge, huge break for the Hawks. Now sit on set point, up 24-22.
Hannah Manners.
Set up, kept alive. Is it gonna get over the net? It's not. And just like that, the Hawks will take set number 3, 25-22. And it was close at times, partner. I mean, anytime Mohawk could have really kind of taken it away, but Humber gritted down and were able to get the win.
No kidding, that was quite a finish to set number 3, and Humber reestablishing themselves a little bit, really came on strong at the end there, but the Hawks really benefiting from a lot of miscues from the Mountaineers. So we'll see if Humber can clean it up. They could close out the game if they win the next set. Zachary, very interesting to see. Again, this game is just the dynamics have shifted with every set. Can Humber just really put themselves in the driver's seat, close this one out, or does Mohawk have a bit more fight left in them?
For sure, it'll be a close one to see. You see the 3 sets that they've gone through. It's been impressive, to say the least. You know, Mohawk keeping alive. And you look at we're taking a quick gander at the Hawks schedule, and I'm not sure if we've seen them go to 5 sets at all this year, Matt.
Partner, there was a game on the 16th of November against the Conestoga Condors here at home in the Hawks Nest, and that one did go the full 5 sets, and it was a close one, obviously, that it went the full distance there. But Humber started very strong. They won that first set 25-14 against Conestoga all the way back in November, but it has just kind of traded sets all the way through. Now, do we have a similar dynamic playing out here? Is Mohawk going to steal set number 4? And we just kind of have that back and forth dynamic. Hopefully the Hawks find a way to close it out. That was pretty early in the season too, that 5-set game. So
yeah,
we're not in uncharted territory here if it does go to 5 sets.
You know, you said it was against Conestoga. Conestoga also has a great record, 10-2. So that's one of their only 2 losses on the year, and it went to 5. So in the playoffs, look out for them. But here and in the moment, you can see it right there. The 400 win man himself, Chris Wilkins, talking to his squad.
400 win man? I thought you were talking about my NHL 23 record on EA Sports. No, there's a good look at Coach.
So if I'm a master at lip reading, and what I like to believe I am, I believe I saw Coach Wilkins saying, play for each other. Big key words coming out of the head coach. And we also caught on the side of Mohawk, I believe it was number 8, Megan Sweet, kind of throwing up the rock signs into the camera crew.
Yeah, Megan Sweet having a good time, and there's a look at the pre-set huddle of the Mountaineers. Their starters ready to take the floor. All love there, and a much more somber Humber Hawks bench, and we'll see if they can ratchet up the energy here. They certainly have to compete with Mohawk for the intensity. This Mountaineers team has come in hotter than a $2 pistol, and it showed. Really, it's been close all the way through. We kind of got maybe a false sense of security, the Humber Hawks fans did in set number 1, as the Hawks went on that crazy run to start off the game. 9-1 was the score heading into the first time out, but this has been a close one. And set number 4 moments away. Hawks with a chance to close it out. See if they can do just that.
You know, you hear it throughout all the sports. Defense wins championships. Well, partner, I want you to take a look up at the scoreboard there. You look at the total digs for the side of Mohawk. 2 players sitting at 5, but you have on the floor right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players sitting over 2. So the defense for the side of Mohawk has been huge, but like you said in the little omission here, it's just those little mental mistakes that keep coming through with those errors.
It's a good point, partner. We talked about just how dangerous Humber's hitting is. Mohawk has been there to keep balls alive and keep rallies going.
Gatto sets up Yvonne, who sets up Jaramillo. And for the first time tonight, Mohawk takes the first point of a set. Actually, Gibbons would be the one to serve, but the tail end of that replay, you see it right there. It was a big kill coming through from Jaramillo. Cass Andrews gets a quick set, not going to be able to fall. This time going out to Hannah Manners, kept alive. Erica Dodd gets the rebound, ricochet. And Cass Andrews comes with the block, but again kept up by the Mountaineers. Ferguson to Cass Andrews. It goes out of bounds and did not hit fingers on the way out.
Despite my protest,
Again, I said it, defense wins championships, and Mohawk showing off the defensive specialties right there. Talan receives it. Ferguson sets up Manners, and she gets the kill.
So we saw a great job by Humber towards the end of set number 3, closing things out. However, Zach, they did benefit from a couple miscues by Mohawk. Can Humber clean things up, establish themselves here, and pick up the win?
Set up. Jaramillo again. Just missing. The block was Cass Andrews. Kind of see the look of frustration on her face.
There's another look coming up. Zach, I want to note, we are only a month away, less than a month away from the OCAA championships at Sheridan College in my hometown of Oakville, right off Trafalgar Road there. But this is going to be, again, it's right around the corner, so it's kind of tune-up time, right? Get the vibe right, because we are heading into the provincial championship. And then after that in March, we have Vancouver Island University hosting the CCAA National Tournament starting March 8th in Nanaimo.
Obviously, you know, Hawks, they want to go out there to those Vancouver Islands. They want to play in that CCAA championship, but they have to get through the OCAA first. A big block coming through, and Mohawk is rolling right now in this 4th set.
You ever taken a trip to the island, partner?
I've never been to the island. I've been to Abbotsford.
Nice.
Vancouver. I went there for a baseball tournament all the way back in the heydays of my playing career.
Great part of this beautiful country, Vancouver Island. Also known to host 1 or 2 volleyball tournaments, as they will be in March with the Women's Nationals.
Kept up. It'll be a free ball if it gets over the net. It does. Ferguson, heads up play by Sydney Ferguson.
And that was, again, one of the, maybe working in the misdirection, but an element of surprise for the Hawks. Softer touch, directed that right to the open spot. Great replay there. But the Hawks will serve it into their own net and give that point right back. Mohawk with a 2-point lead.
So far, Mohawk doing a phenomenal job. They've come out into this 4th set just electric. Vanderwall, good serve. Ferguson setting up Dodd in the backcourt. Yvonne going out to Zakari. This time it'll be Mann trying to get it going. But Talan tipped over. Yvonne Mann setting it up for Spooljar off the top of the net and into no man's land is that one.
It's a tough one when you kind of get the shooter's bounce, as it were, off the net, and that was just took a lot of heat off the ball. There it is, hitting the net and finding an open space.
Big serve out of bounds by Rachel Vanderwall.
Serving for Hawks is number 1, Mara Taylor.
All right, Celan. And again, just service errors for the Hawks come through. Not something we're typically used to saying either.
It certainly has been a theme here in the past 2 sets in particular. Mohawk up by 3 now. Humber certainly not going to be wise to hand over any unearned points to the visiting team here tonight.
Ferguson to Dodd, and Erica Dodd brings that fire and point back to her squad.
Burning down the house with that hit. So we get a good second look here, and there's the tail end of that play as number 13 blasted it.
Yvonne Mann setting up, and it goes down and pumped up is Ashley Gibbons. Wonder if there's any relation there to Blue Jays head coach legend John Gibbons.
Let's say yes and then issue the apology to the later.
It lands in, service ace for Lexi Zakari.
Service ace by 14, Lexi Zakari.
Her look lands just in that back corner.
Now a 4-point lead for Mohawk. Hawks not used to playing from behind here.
Back-to-back service aces. Second-year player out of Burlington, Ontario. Dodd tries to get it there, joust at the net. Mohawk win it. Just thrown over by Gibbons again. Gatto back there watching the tip. Spooljar, big hit. Dodd keeps it up, but they'll say it hit the ground.
No protest from Dodd, so I'm inclined to believe that did in fact touch the ground, but just trying to lay up for it. Couldn't get under it. The Hawks now trailing by 6 here, Zach. You kind of seeing this play out a lot like that game we saw the other 5-set game, the only other 5-set game for Humber this year, which was
wide. Erica Dodd into the net. You said it. Going punch for punch. Timeout called by the Hawks. And I mean, partner, what can you really say? I mean, Mohawk, we knew, you know, they had the potential to be a really good team. They started the year off 7-0, then went on that losing streak. But this is just something, you know, we're not used to seeing out of the Humber Hawks. It's so difficult because of how well they've played all year long. They're 12-0.
Yeah, and coming off a fantastic performance in their previous game, picking up the W against Fanshawe, but flat-footed seems to be the way to sum it up, Zach. You got a Mohawk team that's all energy. They're fired up, and Humber is just sort of dragging a little bit, it feels like, and have not dragged any more than they have so far in set number 4, down by 7 points. So timeout called to try to slow things down. We've seen Humber, they've gotten on a few runs, and we've seen Mohawk call those timeouts. For Humber, hopefully things work out in their favor coming out of this timeout.
Trying to take a play out of the side of Mohawk right there is what Humber is doing. Timeout, maybe, you know, going a rally of their own. We know they're capable. We know this team has so much depth, that they're such a talented squad. It just comes down to if they can finally get it done. And that's what it's going to be here as Lexi Zakari sets up the serve. Cass Andrews throws it up. And it'll be Talan just throwing it over for a free ball. Man, setting up Hera Milo. Dodd, big kill down the line. Does it land in? And it will be out. Wow, close call. Get a better look at it here on the replay down the line. And I believe it just misses right there.
Yeah, Humber now down by 8. Not the response they were hoping for. Coming out of the timeout. Scrambly play here.
Another free ball. Yvonne going out, spool jar, kept in by Talan, tipped over by Armstrong. Man setting up Jaramillo now, and she gets the kill.
And again, the intensity from this visiting team right now in the orange jerseys, 11 out of 10. They are off the charts right now, and look at that celebration after the point.
Leah Serlin will check in now. And Zakari, even coming out of that timeout, is serving strong. First ball good by LaChapelle. Setting up Cass Andrews. Saved by the Mountaineers again. Zakari, big hit. Does it miss? It does. There we go. Kind of reading the lips there of the Hawks players on the court.
Trying to get the mojo brewing here for the Hawks. And there's the celebration. Now it's Armstrong serving for Humber.
Serve over, it's good. Zakari kind of didn't get it to go forward. It'll be tipped, hits off the post, and another point going towards the Hawks. So the deficit slowly starts to close.
Yeah, up until the last few points, Humber was getting blown out here. But a good response. It's going to take a lot to come back from this 7-point deficit. Let's see if Humber has it in them here in set 4.
Does it land in? Nice service ace right there from Stephanie Armstrong. And timeout called on the side of Mohawk. And we've seen it happen all game long. This is kind of what head coach Kelsey Corver has been doing to try to shut down Chris Wilkins' offense.
It's worked for Coach Corver just about every time. Head coach for the Mohawk squad, Kelsey Kovar, has, we've seen her call about 3 timeouts that have really served to ice the Hawks. Now, Humber just called a timeout of their own moments ago. That worked in their favor. They had a good bounce back. So how will Humber get out of this timeout? Will they play strong, or are they going to fall victim to another Mohawk run that could put this 4th set out of reach? It's already a pretty big disparity, down 6 here.
And it's been a tale of 2 Mohawk teams. We saw in the first set, you know, they were the ones playing flat-footed, had really no energy. Second set, come out strong and, you know, dethrone, in a way, the Hawks' set streak that they had at 31 straight sets won. That 3rd set happens, another back-and-forth battle. Humber gets the breaks and really kind of takes advantage of Mohawk making the errors. And now this one, again, we've seen Mohawk, you know, play as that solidified unit. And this team looks like the team that started 7-0, not the team that lost 6 straight. Set up Spooljar once again. Saved by Hannah Manners. LaChapelle will just hit it over. Yvonne pushing it over. Diving body is Gatto. And will be called a double hit. It was. So another break for the Hawks. They only trail by 5. And for the first time tonight, the timeout doesn't work.
Yeah, I was going to say, good break for Humber, reversing their fortunes and how they've come out of timeouts called by Mohawk thus far. Good look for Humber.
And not going to be able to be saved. It was a diving body of LaChapelle trying to get there.
Looks like maybe a bit of a late start to the Humber Hawks men's team, playing what was scheduled for an 8 o'clock start time, but it's already 7:30, and we are knee-deep in this one, partner.
No end near for this one. Looking like it might go the distance. Mohawk playing very well. Humber trying to take it and capitalize, and Cass Andrews gets the kill.
That was a strong effort there up front by Humber. That's the bread and butter for these Hawks. Mohawk has really replied and answered a lot with some great digs, but that time was undeniable for Doug.
To Vanderwall off the block. Again, Mohawk will take advantage. 17-11 lead, and, you know, again, it's just the nitty-gritty play that they have, just somehow keeping the ball alive, is what's really just kind of projected them here into this lead. First ball good to Armstrong. She's going to go out to Manners, who hammers it home. Hannah Manners.
Yeah, Humber needs to go on a run, and a big run at that. That was a step in the right direction. Still down 5 here, Zach. Manners, undeniable. Yes, number 10 blasted that one.
Cass Andrews serves over. Gatto gets it. Quick one to Vanderwall. Kept up. Thought they were going to leave it to go out of bounds, but they didn't. Spooljar hits it into the net. And Humber slowly but surely dwindling this lead down.
Cass Andrews had a big play up front for Humber. Good serve there.
Good diving right there by Armstrong. Sets up Serlin. Gatto receives it. Quick one to the middle. It wasn't able to go for Vanderwall. And again, the lead dwindles smaller. Hawks only trail 3 now.
Okay, partner, a little bit of juice for the Hawks now.
Cass Andrews serves up.
Ball in good hands for Humber.
Spooljar, big hit off the block and out of bounds, and you can see how fired up Coach Carver is getting.
Can Mohawk play mistake-free volleyball and close out set number 4? Right now in real time, a serve is coming from Sophia Spooljar.
And the hit by Kiyomi Ellis sailing out of bounds, and just again, unfortunate breaks. Energy on the side of Mohawk is sky high right now. Armstrong keeps it alive. Manners just gonna tip it, but it lands on Humber's side. The wall coming up strong for Mohawk. And I think the one leading the energy on the side of Mohawk is again head coach Kelsey Kovar.
Well, we talked about her Humber roots, of course, playing for Coach Wilkins. This is really the young grasshopper coaching against her former head coach.
Manners, big kill, and point for the Hawks.
Manners with the serve, part of the family affair. Her father's involved in the Humber Hawks basketball coaching staff.
Big hit, nice receive right there by LaChapelle. Serlin, big hit, does it go out? It does. A little bit of a backbreaker right there for the Hawks. Too much power on that hit from Leah Serlin.
Boy, that is a backbreaker for Humber. A little bit too much paprika on that hit from the net, and down by 6. Mohawk in striking distance of capturing set number 4.
Almost a miscommunication play right there for the Hawks, but it's kept alive. And Zakari, big hit for Mohawk. You can see the energy. Look at the bench just jumping.
Coach Kovar off to the left side of the screen there too, is in frame, fired up.
And the men's team who's watching, getting ready for their game on the sidelines here, getting into it. Reese Cholette sets up Serlin, looking for the backcourt, not going to be able to find a hole. And Zakari, big hit. Joust at the net, kept alive. I think Humber was looking for a double hit. Serlin trying to keep it, no. Block comes through, 23-15. Mohawk looking like a completely different team right now.
There's Armstrong pleading Humber's case to the head umpire, to no avail. Humber down by 8. Partners not looking too good for Humber.
So, Chris Wilkins, head coach, getting his explanation of what the head ref has said to his captain on the court, Stephanie Armstrong. They'll continue to roll, and right there, all synchronizing, point to the sky with the 1. Ball, is it just saying ball don't lie?
Oh, interesting.
That was kind of very just, you know, I lost the word for it. It just caught me off guard there. But Humber not going away easy. They want to try to end this here. Does it land in bounds? It does. Big serve right there at Aaliyah Serlin. 23-17 Mohawk leads.
Here's the Vancouver product with another serve. Let's take a second look at what she just accomplished. This was the previous play.
That was the service ace, but coming out of the replay, it was a service error out of Serlin, just missing that sideline. Yvonne Mann. Go back to serve. Set point for the Mountaineers. Serlin, good ball to Armstrong. She wants Erica Dodd on the outside, but it hits the post. And that's it. We're going to a set number 5. And like you said, partner, this hasn't happened since early November when they took on the Conestoga Condors here at the Hawks Nest.
Yeah, only, like you said, just for the second time this season, needing to go that extra frame. Got the NFL Films music. Let's dial up the atmosphere here, the intensity. But partner, this is going to be a race to 15, and for Humber, it's going to be as important as ever to start strong. We've seen a couple sets where Humber has started rather strong, but ultimately, I think the difference maker has been just the energy, the intensity, the passion for Mohawk has at times really dwarfed the Humber Hawks. Can Humber come out here with the energy? We'll find out.
Now, for anybody who's listening at home that doesn't understand how the 5th set will work, it will be the first team to 15 at the halfway mark. I believe 8 points or 7. The teams will switch
Switcheroo.
sides. But to win the set, you have to obviously get to 15, but you also have to win by 2. So if the score is tied 14 apiece and Humber gets 15, the game does not end. They will continue to play until one team wins by 2. So big stakes here heading into the 5th set, and just really phenomenal volleyball action. Coming into today, you know, Matt, we both thought Humber would just, you know, kind of roll away with this one like they've been doing all season long, but the side of Mohawk, the grit that they're showing, the motivation and the prowess has just impressed me.
Yeah, I mean, we saw in set number 1, Humber start the game on a 9-1 run. That merited a timeout from Mohawk, and things have really changed since then. But even towards the end of that first set, Humber came on strong once again and captured it. Kind of did feel like we'd have another, maybe a 4-set game at best, but now we are going to set number 5. Mohawk has really just turned it on, and really, you look at the rankings, you have the number 1 team in the province in the Humber Hawks. Meanwhile, for Mohawk, a modest 7-6 record, just 1 game above 500. So really, what a momentous win this would be for Mohawk. They have a chance here heading into set number 5.
And just take a look at the scores for each one of the matches. 25-17, Humber won the first one. What did Mohawk just win it by? 25-17. Humber lost the second set, 25-21, but what did they win by? 25-22. One number off, but we've come full circle here in the Hawks Nest. I said at the start of the broadcast, things are heating up here in Etobicoke, Ontario at the Humber North Campus.
And we have a great matchup lined up here after the conclusion of this game. The Humber men's team taking on the Mohawk men's squad. But I'll tell you what, hopefully it's anywhere near as good as what we've seen here. This is surely going to be a barn burner of a finish. The deciding 5th set, moments away.
You can see it here. If you look at that the little meeting that the Hawks are having on the court, it's the libero, Alex LaChapelle, really taking that leadership role, talking to the team, explaining what they need to get done. We know the talent that this squad has. They are so deep with talent, even on the bench. They can come through with this win. They just got to play Humber Hawks volleyball. Stay consistent throughout the entire set. For the most part tonight, they've been really good at each start of the set, but they've kind of just taken the foot off the gas. Now we got to see how they play for the full set when it matters most here in the 5th and final set of this match between the Humber Hawks and the visiting Mohawk Mountaineers. Stephanie Armstrong will be the one to serve.
First, she makes a trip over to the score, their umpire.
Sometimes you just got to go say, hi, how are you?
Hey, just wanted to check in for the set.
You having a good time? Good. That's obviously what's being discussed right now is,
Yeah.
dinner plans
Pleasantries,
afterwards.
niceties. A yellow card has been issued. We'll try to sort out what the heck is going on. It's a delay of game. Is the announcement. The yellow card flashed to Stephanie Armstrong. We're continuing to chat.
We're trying to figure out what's happening.
Stephanie Armstrong just kind of going, I don't know what just happened. Neither do we. We're all united in confusion.
All right, let's start set number 5.
The intensity.
Got to build it up, and that's what the ref wanted as well. Serve over, good by Armstrong. Yvonne setting up Jaramillo, and there it is. The Hawks get the first point, and the bench and the players getting loud. This is something we've missed for the last couple sets, Matt.
The crowd into it as well. So can Humber sort of dial up the energy to combat what Mohawk's been bringing all game, which has been some pretty good energy in their own right.
Strong serve. Man, setting up Spooljar, kept alive. Gatto now sets up Spooljar again, but the wall comes through. It's Cass Andrews.
Second look here at that play. Hawks now up 2-0. Good blocking up front.
Yvonne setting up Jaramillo.
Another good block.
Once again, she'll hit it left-handed this time. Cass Andrews keeps it up, but nobody able to get there to help out. So the first point for the Mountaineers comes through.
Looks like our men's matchup might be starting around 8:20 at best, so do expect a bit of a delayed start to game 2 here on our double feature on the Hawks Sports Network.
But definitely tune in, because it will be a good one. Armstrong going out to Manners. That one gets blocked. LaChapelle setting up. Cass Andrews coming up big.
Andrews has had a few monster plays for Humber. This one coming at the pivotal 5th set. Another shot there, boom.
It's the quick set by Armstrong and Andrews that's been working all night long. Gatto will set up Spooljar now. She'll hit it down. LaChapelle setting up Serlin. Not going to be able to fall. On the other side, Gatto to Jaramillo, out of bounds, off the hands, though, of Leah Serlin. So Mohawk, the pesky bunch in orange, not going away. Another look on the replay. Going out wide, blocked, but off the hands. Back to Manners. No one home on the other side. Hannah Manners gets the kill.
Seeing some very big play from Humber up front here in the 5th set, and that's helped them establish a 2-point lead.
Good serve by Cass Andrews. Yvonne Mann going to Vanderwall. Kiyomi Ellis, the block.
Again, it's really up front, the difference maker here. Both teams have 2 timeouts here in this 5th set. We'll see if that is put into strategy. Certainly timeouts have worked well for Mohawk here tonight.
First ball takes Yvonne a little bit far back, but Humber will get the point. Ball handling violation again, another just penalty by Mohawk that's just kind of shot them in their own foot. 6-2 now is the lead in the 5th set. Tipped over, joust at it. Not gonna fall away to anybody. Gonna be a free ball for the Hawks. Dodd to Armstrong, to Manners, gets over at the net. Vanderwall and Dodd not gonna be able to keep it alive.
Another look here is the Hawks up by 3. Mohawk, good reason to celebrate that last point. Here's their serve.
LaChapelle unable to get to that one. It's a service ace for Mohawk, and it's again Sophia Spooljar.
We've seen a good start for Humber in this set. Mohawk clawing back now. 6-4 is our score.
LaChapelle to Armstrong, going to Manners, and no one home behind the block. Hannah Manners gets it over and is able to get her squad the point.
Really seems like Humber could like their chances of capturing the 5th set and winning the game if their front line continues to play the way we've seen.
Good serve by Manners, set up, going to Zakari. Kept up, Manners, quick one to Kiyomi Ellis. No, not gonna fall, but goes outside the post. Kiyomi Ellis showing off the strength.
She called for it, Zach. The ball was loose and she could telling her teammate, give it to me. And for good reason, Kiyomi Ellis nailed it, and there's that ricochet that landed out of bounds. Humber now up by 8-4, and there's the old switcheroo, switching sides here, Zach.
The old switcherooskies, as I like to call it. But you hear it, Jim intensifies with the Undertaker's music coming on with the gongs that come through.
Yeah.
That was a really cool cut-in, I'm not gonna lie.
And that will lead to a timeout. So, I mean, obviously, you got to think that's a great move by Coach Kelsey Kovar to call the timeout. We've seen that really slow things down for Humber, but I don't know, Zach. I'd like to think if Humber can keep up the work they've been doing in this 5th set, those players up front, the hitting, the blocking has just been undeniable. That should help propel Humber to the W here, but it's not going to be easy. Mohawk has come in here on a Thursday night all the way from the Hammer. Are not playing around, partner.
It comes down to, really, the ball is in Humber Hawks' court. Are they gonna keep this momentum and ride hot like they've been doing to start off the 5th set? Or are they gonna take their foot off the gas and allow Mohawk to claw back into this one? It's been the story all game long, and we'll see what happens coming out of this timeout. Partner, we are getting down to it. The final couple points that are going to be scored in this match between these two squads is coming up right now with Hannah Manners serving it. First ball, good. Yvonne Mann trying to set up Vanderwall, no one there. And again, Humber will get the point, and a much needed one. Continuing to grow the lead, 6 away from taking it.
First one to 15 wins here.
Manners serve up into the net.
So that's Ashley Gibbons checking into the game for Mohawk. Serving for the Mountaineers will be Rachel Vanderwall.
Reese Cholette checks in on the side of the Hawks. Rachel Vanderwall, like you said, serving. Her serve's up and it's good. Cholette was the one receiving. Trying to set up Dodd from the backcourt, and Erica Dodd coming out of nowhere.
Ooh-wee.
Wow.
The firepower. Now, can we get a second look at this thing? Had some power on it. Goodness gracious.
She was shot out of a pistol. Oh my, Erica Dodd gets that kill. Extending the lead out. Zakari gets blocked, sets up. Yvonne Mann not gonna be able to put it over. Again, going out to Dodd. Gatto keeps it up and alive. From the backcourt, a Spooljar blocked by Ellis. Going out wide to Zakari. It lands on the back line. Wow, another big rally, but this time it falls the way of Mohawk.
Hard-fought point for the Mountaineers, and this was the shot that sealed the deal. The score now 10-6. Not going away easy, these Mountaineers, but they are in a dangerous hole right now, down by 4. Humber just needs to hit that 15-point to win it.
LaChapelle receives, gives it Armstrong to Dodd. Erica Dodd once again coming through when she needs to.
Right off the head and face area of a Mohawk returner. And looks like, fortunately, Yvonne Mann is all right, but Humber likes the dynamic that's shaping up here. Serve coming up from Kiyomi Ellis.
4 points away are the Hawks. Kiyomi Ellis, serve good. Gatto receives. Big hit by Jaramillo. Not gonna go. Armstrong again out to Dodd. This time out of bounds. Wow, so close.
Now you have one official, Zach, who on the opposite side of the court, but on the near side, called it a point for Humber.
You can hear the boos coming out in the gym.
Well, and certainly have a discrepancy there. The point will remain Mohawks, but Coach Wilkins is not done deliberating. As the Mohawk cheering section, which is mostly comprised of the men's team waiting to play, is getting rowdy. And the Humber team, the fans feel like they've just been cheated. Now they're getting fired up too.
LaChapelle to Armstrong. Quick one to Andrews. Point back to the Hawks.
The ball don't fly. As we'll get a second look here, and the energy in the Hawks nest from the fan base, from the players, is through the roof right now. True to roof, Zach.
3 away. Like you said, it's true to roof. 3 away are Humber. Armstrong, serve over. Gatto receives onto Yvonne. Big hit, kept up. LaChapelle sets up Erica Dodd, but it's blocked once again. Manners this time is gonna set up LaChapelle. Soft hit over, diving body, kept up. Mohawk is gonna be a free ball for Humber. LaChapelle to Armstrong, to Manners, kept alive. Hit by Cass Andrews, but kept alive again.
What a rally.
Out to Spooljar, blocked. Will it get over the net? Yes. Armstrong to LaChapelle, to Erica Dodd, off the hands. Zakari up to the net. Yvonne Mann puts it up, blocked, kept alive once again. LaChapelle to Armstrong, to Cass Andrews, blocked. The point finally goes to Humber.
That was a great call, partner. You were on top of the action there. That was an amazing rally, back and forth play. We have been blessed with a phenomenal volleyball game. This is really what you hope for anytime you tune on to the Hawk Sports Network. A good game. We have one of those. Hawks almost getting close to closing this one out.
Armstrong, good serve over. Put up to the middle. Spooljar just gonna let it go over. Nobody's gonna get there for the Hawks. And another, just a miscue. Mohawk not going away, 13-8.
So Ashley Gibbons will serve for the Mountaineers, and they're going to have to go on quite a run. Humber just needs 2 more to put this one away.
Serve out of bounds. Humber 1 point away from taking the match. Timeout called by Mohawk.
Mohawk will use their second timeout here, as there's a look at that serve that had a bit too much.
I need to catch my breath, partner. I'm still trying to recover.
Well, tip of the cap to you. You are all over that rally with calling the action. Unbelievable stuff. What a game this has shaped up to be. Anytime you get to that 5th set, race to 15. A de facto overtime period, as it were. Now, this is going to be interesting to see. How does Humber respond? We're going to have to really see Mohawk get on quite a run out of this timeout if they have any shot at all. The Hawks with the ball, they get to serve. Can they put this one away and improve to 13-0 on the season?
Big serve coming up for the Hawks. None other than Erica Dodd herself will be the one to serve it for Humber. You said it best. They win this 13-0 on the season. And here we go. Dodd serves up, serves good. Nobody's going to be able to get there. And just like that, Humber takes it in 5. 3-2, 15-8 in that final set. Humber Hawks advance to 13-0 after a dramatic end to the first game of 2.
Yeah, partner, that was just game 1, and there's the celebration as we see the first game of our double feature on HSN goes in favor of the Humber Hawks women's volleyball team. The men take the court next. And
you'll see the final scoreline right there. Humber won the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th set to win this one with a final match score of 3-2. But don't go anywhere, Matt. We still have one more game on the ledger. It's going to be the men's team, so Go get yourself some water. Go use the bathroom. You got to walk the dog, but come right back. The men's teams are coming up next, so stay tuned.